Anytime I can see you swallow, you know you're hungry. Yeah, yeah. Something ain't right. All right. Yeah. Because sometimes, like one of the things, you got to hit the thing versus it moving to the next slide. Yeah. Yeah, you see? See that? Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Uh, Say again? What's wrong? Oh, I'll let y'all have it. One day we're going to get a bigger podium. I don't know who broke the first two. All right. I can tell. You can't even move on this thing. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is it's going to be real brief. All I got is some questions. 2 slides of a question, 1 little read, and we're done. That's it. Who said did an excellent job. Get in the background. Hallelujah. So from that point, I guess we should be good to go. Uh-oh. All right. All I got some quick questions. Here we go. First one he gave you. What is the definition of the word Pesakh, right? He gave you the place, right? And so everyone agrees it means? Okay, let me see. So it did? Okay. All right, so we got that. Traditionally, it was just called Passover, right? But we went back, if you look at the other teachings every year, you start to see that, who came up with that word Passover? Y'all remember? Tyndale.
William.
Got it. Now, next question is, it gets a little harder. The Pesakh was killed for who, and what connection can we learn from it? So the point of this one here, just for us to think about this mentally here, right? What would you guys say? Kill for who? You want it, Mike, you said? Uh-huh. I'm glad you got wheels on this.
Pesakh was killed on behalf of the nation of Israel.
Okay. Anyone else? You want the mic, you said? I wasn't sure what you said. Where's he at? Oh, there he is.
The purpose was to redeem mankind.
Okay, redeem mankind. Okay. So, it was killed for our protection and to learn obedience, right? Because if you didn't have that blood, you weren't going to make it. Okay? For those who want to be a part of him, right? Because did it come out as a mixed multitude? Okay? And then, now obviously he's honoring the covenant he made with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, right? All right? It is a family feast. That's what I want us to understand. It was a family feast, so we became blood family through the birth, right? Reborn into the Brit Hadashah. So we'll talk about that in the future. I just want to see where we are, because these will be questions for next year. What can we learn from the instructions to roast the lamb versus eating it raw or boiling the lamb? Now, I want you to think remez and sod level. Everyone remember the remez and the sod levels? Okay.
The fire represents burn off the impurities.
Okay. That what you gonna say? Well, you had the mic for him, so y'all came together. Awesome. Here we go. All right. So na is an adjective. Na literally means something that is raw or half cooked. Okay. So used of the flesh. So you don't want to do something halfway in your flesh, in your lave or in your heart. Okay? The next word is for the word for boiled is bashel, or in the feminine, beshelah. Something boiled, sodden. So the brew, or have you heard the foam and the seething part? So boiled represents being filled with intense but unexpressed anger. Okay? So you're not going to boil it because what it represents. Is everyone with me so far? Okay? And but roasted. Okay, so selah, to roast, is signification. Roasting is, and I'm talking spiritually here, in ancient times dealt with praying in a way of wanting to be consumed in the presence of Elohim. This is from the Aramaic or the Chaldee, with his purifying fire. Okay, so Yahuwah being the consuming fire in our lives. So if we prepared ourselves correctly, mentally, spiritually, then being in his presence is what we desire. Everyone's felt his presence before, I venture, right? And that feeling is an overwhelming feeling, right? So keep that in mind. So this is here just setting up for next year. I'm only just giving you some stuff for next year for the next person that's going to be teaching. All right. Yeah. No worries. Now, Isaiah 31:5, just for those that wanted to find it in the King James, for an example of the word for spare or protect. So that's why this is up here. So Yeshayahu 31:5 says, like birds hovering, so Yahuwah Sibaot, or Yahuwah of hosts, will protect Jerusalem or Jerusalem. He will protect and deliver it. He will spare and rescue it. So that's where you can even find that word in the King James. Okay? Next question. What does the bitter herb represent today? That's what I'm talking about. Look at that obedience. Better than what? Man, he's all right.
Shalom.
Uh-huh.
So the bitter herbs represent today is like the cleansing of cleanses your body. It detoxes you of all the nasty stuff you can have in you when you eat the bitter herbs. Sorry.
Okay.
Think that the bitter herbs represent sin in today's terminology.
Okay. Namana? Okay.
The bitter herbs also represents like a day of remembrance, I think. When you eat it, it's
So you
It's-
believe in the command of it, correct. I got
yeah.
you.
Can't
The bitter herbs will represent more so like the harshness and hardships that we go through in the walk of following Yahushua HaMashiach.
Okay. All right. You good? Okay. All right. So everyone has this one here, right? So morar is bitter thing, a bitter thing. Now remember, I'm saying for today, because we're going to apply this for ourselves. Bitterness, grieve, provoked, vexed, a rebel. Okay? So in the Passover meal, figuratively, distressed and afflicted. Now we're going to put all this together in just a second. What do bones represent in Scripture? Because it wasn't supposed to be broken. What does that mean? Okay, no problem. Let me go ahead. Now, Mana,
the bones were not supposed to be separated.
right, we got that. But what does it represent?
It represents bones coming back to life. Like the dead bones coming back to life.
All right. Yahusha Indaud.
Bones doesn't mean your substance of yourself, substance of yourself.
We're going, we'll see how close that is. Daoud.
Bones not being broken could be a representation of the wholeness of the process. It's supposed to be a whole complete process. And because usually when a bone is broken, it could break skin, blood is spilled, and it can taint the meat, can make it impure.
Okay. All right. You only get one try, Yahushan. That's a wrap. All right.
Strength.
Now, here we go. Etzem, right? Etzem, called from its firmness and strength, right? You'll see it translated as body, substance. When your bones are broken, you lose strength. So think about when you were broken mentally. Did you lose some type of strength? Did something happen? So just keep this in mind. So the last part, because we're going to put it all together on this last question here. How would you describe this meal with a remez and a soul level? And I gave you all of it, matzot, habatzal, and memorim. These are all the words that you'll find in Shemot Exodus chapter 12. How would you put all three of these together? Too much Hebrew for today? Okay. All right, no worries. Here we go. Same as eating the habasar, or come called the flesh, right, of Mashiach. We are consuming the word, okay, that became flesh, right, that purifies and walking in an unleavened state within ourselves, no longer having bitterness and a vexed heart, taking out the rebel behavior that was in our lives. Okay, so we should get this as what we're going to be striving for throughout, because this is our new year, right? So as a new year, you got a new beginning. So within this new beginning, you should treat everybody in a new beginning state, not bringing that old leaven and continuing that thing on with that person because what happened, I haven't forgiven that person yet, or we haven't talked about it yet. Whose responsibility is it for you to get that right? Ours, right? You guys, is responsibility, right? Suppose that person don't do it, but you know that he has a problem with you. How does that work? Still got to go to him, because it says, if you know that someone has an issue with you, if you know that, even if that person act like he don't know, if you know, you leave your gift at the altar and then go get it right. Now, once you go get it right, now if they don't like it, then Leviticus or Wayker chapter 5 verse 1 says, well, my hands is clean. I did what I was supposed to do, so I don't have to bear the iniquity of that person. Are we good? All right. That portion there is, I like the Dead Sea Scrolls, for those that are familiar with it. It says, surround me, shame covers my face. My bread has turned into quarrel, and my drink into argument. They have entered into my bones. So you see, there's a spiritual understanding about bones that they understood. And I'm just trying to get you guys to go to that remez or soul level, that these bones you can lose your strength because of what things are going on in your life, right? Is everyone with me so far? All right. Let's go ahead and close out with this here. So everyone's familiar with the Elephantine, right? Okay. So I want to close with one of the oldest documents, or this particular document found in Pesakh. This was in 419 BCE, is what this was found. Okay, so listen to what it says to kind of help us, are we on the right path and times and things like that. So, to my brethren, Yedoniah, and his colleagues, the Yahudim garrison, your brother Hananiah, the welfare of my brothers, may Elohim seek at all times. Now, this year, the fifth year of King Darius, word was sent from the king to Ashermes, saying, authorize a festival of unleavened bread for the Yahudim garrison. So do you count 14 days on the month of Nisan? In the Akkadian, that means the new beginnings or beginning. Okay, versus Abib, right, which is the real one. And we keep going. And observe the Pesach or the Passover. And from the 15th to the 21st of Nisan, observe the festival of unleavened bread. Be ritually clean and take heed. Do no work on the 15th or the 21st day, nor drink beer, nor eat anything in which there is leaven from when? 14th at when? Sundown until the, do you see how they link the two together? 15th, but it's 14 comes down to the 15th, sundown 21st of Nisan. For 7 days it shall not be seen among you. Do not bring it into the garrison, your brother Hananiah. Okay? So just something you guys can think about, because I would love to talk about this in the future. However, help wanted. Right? The harvest is great, but laborers are few, right? So I just want us to just think about this day as we go into this. We're going to transition into getting the meal portion of it, the ceremonial portion of it. And I want us to make sure that our minds is right when we partake of these things. So we got to be right, you know, with each other, with Yahuwah. We just have to do what is pleasing. Okay? So at this time, I'm going to, you can end the lesson, and I'm going to switch over to Mori Kanan. And I appreciate this super short lesson.